Hey guys, it's Phil from PR Moves getting out one more video before the NFL season starts on Thursday. Now, there will actually be one more video that comes out, and we'll get to that really quick in a second. But basically, I wanted to make this video to get my final predictions, wrap up my season predictions videos that have been coming out since the draft ended, as well as let you guys know what the weekly schedule on this channel is going to look like day to day, and that's exactly what we're going to jump into right now. So as you can see, we're going to basically start the week on Tuesday, and won't be almost anything on Tuesday unless I do a Bears player for Was He Good, which is my new series about players who have good stat lines, like how good they actually played. So unless I want to do a Bears player or a player who plays on Monday night on Tuesday, besides that, it'll just be Monday for Was He Good. And then Wednesday, which will also be happening this Wednesday, you'll see my weekly predictions. I'll be going over every game, players I expect to have big games in every game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you can use my predictions as betting. I don't care if you bet. I personally don't. But if you bet, then you can use my weekly predictions as a way to gauge your bets. And then we get towards the end of the weekend, Saturday, or this will happen Saturday and Sunday, kind of interchangeable. But the day before the Bears play, so if the Bears play Thursday, we'll have 2 videos on Wednesday, or we'll do the Bears game prediction on Wednesday and then the weekly prediction Thursday during the Bears game. Or we'll just do the Bears prediction on Tuesday. Basically, it's flexible. That's the whole point. That's why there's 3 days where I don't have anything set, is in case like the Bears games move because of COVID or anything like that, or they just get flexed. So if the Bears play on Monday, the Bears game prediction will probably still be on Saturday, but the game reaction will come out probably Monday, and then Was He Good will come out Tuesday, and then weekly predictions will come out Wednesday. So that's why we're trying to do things flexible. But basically, the prediction will come out the day before or 2 days before the game, and then the reaction will come out the day of the game right after the game is over. So Sunday night, the Bears versus Rams game reaction will come out. Pretty self-explanatory, and basically that's going to be the 4 videos that come out every week. A weekly predictions, a weekly Was He Good, which will be going over a standout player who had really good stat line that week, a Bears game prediction, and a Bears game reaction. So, and if there's any other videos that I want to do, there's 3 open slots. So, of course, this is going to be flexible. But basically, the whole point of this schedule is to be flexible and get stuff done as efficiently as possible. Which is going to move us on to basically the point of this video, and we're going to go through this really fast. It's my final NFL game predictions. So, if you can't tell, I'm fighting a cold. Not COVID, though. So, over since the draft, basically immediately after the draft, June-ish, I started doing a weekly, or it was a daily, and then became a weekly division predictions. And I got through 6 of the 8 divisions, and then I was going to do a revisions. This is basically that revisions / conclusion video. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm not going to do, for the 2 divisions I didn't get to, I'm not going to do like the yearly MVP and stuff like that I did for everyone else. I'm just going to run through the divisions here. So, starting off with the AFC. So, I didn't make too many changes in the AFC. You're going to see it up on the screen. The Browns still win, or we actually didn't even see the AFC North. The Browns win the North at 13-4. The Ravens are 12-5. The Steelers are 5-12. Why they're 5-12? I don't trust their offensive line. I don't trust their secondary besides Minka, and I don't necessarily trust. One second. I don't necessarily trust their offensive line or Najee Harris. I think Najee's going to be good, but I don't think he's going to be like elite year 1 like some people think he's going to be. And then the Bengals at 4-13. I actually think Joe Burrow is going to play pretty well, but I don't think any other part of that team is very good. So, AFC South, here is definitely a revision. I had the Colts winning the AFC South in my initial division winners. And this time around, I think the Titans end up winning it. I did express this. That video was made before the Julio trade, and the Julio trade doesn't necessarily bring the Titans up 3 games. It's the fact that right now I trust their individual skill positions more than the Colts, and I trust their quarterback more than the Colts. And I think their defenses, minus the Titans secondary, which I think will be pretty bad, but I think everything else on their defense is very comparable. So, Jaguars, I should have lowered them a lot more. I did have them going 7-10 initially. I think it'll probably be more around 5-12. But I do think they have a very well built roster, and this was before the Travis Etienne injury and everything. I really do think if Trevor plays well, then they'll be a 7-10, 6-11 team, like no doubt about it. And then Houston 3-14. I don't think they'll be 0-17. I think they'll squeeze out some wins. So, and then. This is different. Miami, I do have them losing an extra game to Buffalo now, which means Buffalo wins the division. Actually, no, New England, I have winning an extra game against Miami. So, so New England now is at 10-7. Miami is 11-6, is now a wild card team. And the Jets, I believe I had at 6-11 before. They're now at 5-12. So, AFC East looking a little bit different. AFC West, the Chiefs. I believe actually almost nothing changed in this division. Yeah, everything's the same in the AFC West. So go see the AFC West video if you want more details. The only video that you can't go see here is the AFC North. The AFC South looks a little bit different. The Colts are winning the division in that video, but if you want like my opinion on each team, besides that, the Colts, Texans, Jaguars, etc., you can go and still check out that video. But we're going to move on to the NFC. And the NFC North is a little bit different. I had the Bears at 9-8, and I had the Lions at 6-11 before. That's very different. I do have the Lions and Bears losing a few extra games, which is pretty fun. The Buccaneers I now have at 15-2 instead of 14-3. I might have always had them at 15-2, but I feel like I changed something there. So, Bears are no longer in the playoffs, and that's because if you look down at the NFC West, which was the last video I think I did that got a lot of views, I had everyone having a winning record, and I still do, but I now have Seattle beating Detroit. I know that was a very controversial thing that Detroit beats Seattle. I now have Seattle beating Detroit, so they will now be at 10-7 and in the playoffs. So, Seattle making the playoffs as the 6th seed. NFC East, we didn't even get to talk about. I didn't get to them because of the Dak injury. I didn't know how that was going to look. I do have the football team winning in at 9-8, the Cowboys coming in at 8-9, the Giants at 6-11, and the Eagles at 3-14. I think the Eagles end up starting Minshew, Flacco, and Hurts for multiple games, so that'll be interesting. I think Daniel Jones is just not it. I don't think their offensive line is it. I think Saquon is not what he used to be. I think their secondary outside of James Bradbury is pretty shoddy. I don't even like Jabril Peppers all that much. Xavier McKinney has to prove himself. I do like their pass rush, but not necessarily anything else. Their linebackers are also pretty iffy. I kind of wish they drafted Micah Parsons. I wish they drafted Micah Parsons, so I'm going to definitely think about how I treat the Giants this year, because the Giants could probably win this division if Daniel Jones plays well. I just don't have confidence in him playing well. And then the Cowboys, I think they're going to have a top 5 offense, but I think they're going to have a bottom 10 defense, so 8-9 is pretty good. Initially, before I changed anything, they were 7-10, and the football team was 10-7. I just had them winning an extra game against the football team. But that's pretty much it. That is it for the division predictions, which puts us right at the playoffs. Looking at the first round, I'm going to start just at the top and move down. Ravens play the Titans. I do think the Ravens walk away from that one again. I think the Titans secondary and defense overall is pretty bad. So, Ravens win that one. Chargers versus Browns. Browns would probably absolutely destroy the Chargers. Bills and Dolphins, we've seen how those games have gone over the past 2 years. And then into the NFC, Rams beat the Vikings. Packers beat the Seahawks, and the 49ers beat the football team. So, all of the away teams? No, just the 49ers get a upset on the road. And then it moves us over to the second set of games, the divisional round. The Chiefs beat the Ravens. The Browns beat the Bills. I think if it's not in Buffalo, I think the Browns would win. And then the Packers beat the Rams for the second straight year, so the Rams will not play at home in the Super Bowl. And then, of course, the Buccaneers beat the 49ers. And then the NFC Championship is exactly the same, except it's going to be in Tampa this time, so there won't be a home field advantage for the Packers, and I think both of those teams still match up pretty much exactly the same. And I think the Buccaneers would have absolutely destroyed the Packers if Brady didn't throw 3 interceptions in that game. People forget Brady threw 3 interceptions in that game. I think if he doesn't throw those 3 interceptions, I think the Packers absolutely get walloped. So I do have the Buccaneers winning. It'd probably be close, but and then I do think the Chiefs once again beat the Browns, which leads us to a repeat Super Bowl, which I know is boring, but it's the most likely thing to happen, and it's what I think is going to happen. I think these two teams are just a tier and a half ahead of everyone else, and this time I do have the Chiefs winning it. Buccaneers won't be at home. Chiefs have a much better offensive line. I hope they're just healthier in general. The chances that the Buccaneers are completely healthy going into that game again are also very slim. So I do have the Chiefs this time pulling out a win, which brings us to our awards for this year. So I do believe the MVP is going to be Josh Allen. I think they're going to be passing the ball so much that he's going to be close to 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns is just my general prediction. Which will also mean I think Stephon Diggs has the potential to break the NFL receiving record this year, absolutely. Myles Garrett, I think if Clowney and JOK and those other linebackers that are there can also step up and take some pressure off of him, and he doesn't regress due to COVID, because he got COVID and he didn't play well towards the end of last year. But I think if he's full strength for the entire year and everyone else around him is playing at their best, he could absolutely break 15 sacks and win Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I do have it going to Kyle Pitts. I don't think any of the rookie quarterbacks are going to be outstanding. I actually think Mac Jones will have the best stats, because I think he's on the best team. But I do think Pitts will break the tight end rookie records, every single one of them. And I think at that point you can't. I mean, Justin Jefferson broke a few, but Justin Herbert also broke a few. But I don't think there'll be any quarterbacks breaking records this year, so I think Kyle Pitts will be Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then Micah Parsons, I think he's going to be the leader on that Cowboys defense by the end of the year. I think he's going to be like 70 tackles, 5 sacks, 5 passes defended, something like that. Like something crazy. He's going to be all over the place, so Michael Parsons. And then Coach of the Year will go to Brandon Staley. Chargers have missed the playoffs for a few years now. He's going to go in there. I think he's going to absolutely turn around that defense and become Coach of the Year. So, yeah, there you go. Those are my final predictions for the NFL season, and as well as the schedule for this upcoming NFL season. So, please leave any comments, what you disagree with, what you agree with, and what you want to see out of these 4 or 5 videos a week that I have planned. So I'm going to talk to you guys later. I appreciate all of your support over the offseason, and I'm very excited to bring you guys content during the NFL season. So I'll see you guys then. Peace out.